I'm ready. Savi's ready. Ray's ready.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We hope it is good. Welcome to another edition of Geeks Who Like Sports. As always, I am Ray Carcillo in surprisingly overcast Los Angeles, California. Joined best friend the entire world over in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Lee Elias. Lee, how you doing today, buddy?
But why are you yelling at us? Just yelling at us.
I'm
right
trying to wake myself up as much as I am trying to wake everybody else up.
That's a good point. It is earlier there than I give you credit for. That's very true.
Yeah, my phone's been going off since like 7 a.m. my time, and it's like, I'm like, why are you all bothering me right now?
No, I played in a tournament over the weekend, so I woke up this morning like, oh my god, I can do this, and then now I'm here. I'm here with you in pain.
You made it.
I did.
You made it. You survived. Before we get into the show, a couple of quick things. We are here now, but you and I have been other places recently. You were joining our good friend Seth Everett over on his show recently.
Yeah, we did a great review of Daredevil Born Again, which just for our audience, highly recommend it, Ray. Like I didn't have extremely high expectations, but Marvel and Disney have really figured out the television episodic side of how to do their shows. And what they're really starting to master is telling a story through 9 episodes, but also making them standalone episodes. Even some of them could be just watched on their own. You wouldn't even need context through them, but did a really good job really establishing the street level heroes and villains of the MCU in a way that can affect the larger MCU, but maybe you don't have to watch every single thing to understand what's going on. And I think that they're doing a good job with that. I think also too, what Disney's finally figured out, I'm going to give this credit to Star Wars, is do things in trilogies. If you have 9 episodes, that's 3 movies.
It's 3 acts.
Right?
Yeah.
It's 3 acts, and you can build a trilogy, and it's well done. And this is what the earlier Marvel shows missed, is they were one movie told over 9 hours. Right. And it's like, it's too much, right? And that's why people used to say, right, like, oh, this could have been 2 hours, right? Whereas Daredevil Born Again, there's no way they could have done that in 2 hours. It was 3 separate acts, 3 separate stories. It was a trilogy in itself. Yeah. I think when the MCU started to do that, things got a lot better. And again, you look at the early, I don't want to call them failures anyway, but like WandaVision, even Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was good, but it was one long thing.
Well, and WandaVision was also hard because of the pandemic,
100%,
which threw some wrenches into that. And
there was not a great first outing, but at the same time, like, that show was so out there. I think they were trying to make it out there. That was the other problem. Is that I remember discussing it with you, like, where is this going? We had no idea where this is going. Where Daredevil from the start, it's very much about, Fisk, Kingpin, and Murdoch, Daredevil.
Yeah, and street level Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah, but their stories are running parallel, and that they're going to collide. And you're waiting for it to collide, and it develops and develops and develops. It's so well done. And then within that parallel, there's other stories that are told that advance that storyline, which is what the MCU did so well. So they're figuring it out. I do recommend it. There's a lot of great cameos, a lot of great characters, and the violence is so good. I mean, it's so good. They really did Daredevil's powers, I think, a lot better in this one than the Netflix show. But like, I'll just say this: Punisher's in it. That's not a Easter. People know that. But I will just say this: if you've ever wanted to see Kingpin's finisher, like, see it. I don't mean like hear it. I mean, if you wanted to see his finishing move, oh my God, they show it to you in this. And it's one of those moments where, like, wow, they have really showed that on TV. Kids should not watch this Disney television show. Disney Plus has evolved. But Ray, I might just send you that just so you can see it. I mean, we're talking Mortal Kombat level stuff. And it's also it's like, that's one of the climaxes of the show. Like, that's the Kingpin. Yeah. Right? So, and he's in a white suit for it. It was so good. And there's a lot of blood. When I was a boy. I mean, he's good. It's good. I recommend it. Anyway, love talking to our buddy Seth. his show, Halls of Justice, now back after a little bit of a hiatus. So I was really honored to be the first one back on that. He does such a great job with that in Sports with Friends. So I'm always appreciative to talk with him.
Yes, absolutely. And I was also on, that episode will be coming out in the next month or so, I think. Our good buddy Ray Stacanis, who's also been on the show. I went on his show, Who Would Win Masters, for a special, they rejiggered their format a bit over there. And I represented Link from the Legend of Zelda series against us. I think it's, Sung Jin Hu from Solo Leveling. Two epic swordsmen colliding in Who Would Win Masters battle. And I represented the Link. And so that episode will be dropping in the next month or so. And that's always a lot of fun to always be part of it. And Ray's going to come on our show. We're going to do a special episode.
The pride of Detroit.
Yes, he's going to be our Detroit sports correspondent. So we'll touch base with him later in the week after the main episode drops, and talk to him about how my Knicks destroyed his Pistons.
Ooh, and too soon.
Maybe, but also his Tigers are playing very good, and also talk about the Lions draft as well as the NHL lottery, which we'll talk about in general on the show today. Also, you mentioned the hiatus for Seth. Seth's just getting back from a hiatus. We will actually be going on a short hiatus as well, probably for about a month. We'll figure it out, give or take a little bit. Might also touch base with our Thunderbolts review. We're not going to review Thunderbolts today. Yeah. Neither one of us have seen it.
That's I was going to say that might be the reason why.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
We're a couple of busy guys. But he's gonna be super traveling. He's gonna be traveling all over the world, conquering the hockey world via travel. And yours truly starts a new job next week. So got to get my life schedule figured out before we can, and then we'll reconvene probably in about a month or so and start back up. So just a quick heads up on the programming there for us. But enough about us.
What about you?
No, what about you? How are you?
How are you? We're fine here. How are you?
Yes. So, not a big news week. Obviously, there's a lot going on. Obviously, with the NHL and NBA playoffs, they are well underway. The first rounds for both sports are now concluded. Lee, dealer's choice. You want to start hockey or you want to start basketball?
I mean, come on with that. What kind of a question is that?
Well, I know you want to start hockey. Look,
you got questions there.
Well, before we get into the depth, because there is so much to unpack.
Well, why don't we just quickly do the NBA? Because it's just going to be you talking about the Knicks, and I don't care about anybody else. Yeah. Let's just do that. Let's talk about. I'm rooting for the Knicks. We'll save the best for last. How about that?
There, okay, whatever works for you, buddy. I'm just very excited. Yeah, it's been. Look, the NBA has expected. Oh, goodness. The East is not nearly as interesting as the West. The top four teams in the East all advance. It's Cavs versus Pacers, Knicks versus Celtics. The Knicks, I'll give this, the Pistons. I think the difference in this series between the Knicks and Pistons was really just experience, but a couple of calls and a couple of buckets that went the other way possibly could have gone. This could have easily been the Pistons knocking off the Knicks. That was a hard-fought, classic late 80s, early 90s Eastern Conference. It felt like a throwback series in a lot of ways. And honestly, I know I'm biased because of the Knicks, but it was one of the better first round series that we had in the NBA. Lee, do you have any thoughts on Knicks and Pistons before we go over to the West?
No, the basketball was good, right? And that's what we're saying. It's like the parody is not
right,
but the basketball was. But
series, the basketball was good.
Yeah, I would say just in the East. Look, Knicks Celtics, man, that's series. That should be good.
Yeah, 100%. And we're gonna get into game one in a bit, but that was wow. This is classic Knicks Pistons and Knicks Celtics. This feels like the Eastern Conference playoffs that we kind of grew up with. Basically.
Yeah, 100%. And then look. I don't usually like to say things like this, but it's a good chance who comes out of that series might go all the way.
You're not wrong, and because looking ahead, and not to take anything away from the Cavaliers or the Pacers, but I think that whoever beats both the Knicks and Celtics can beat them, and then out of the West,
if they can stay healthy. Sorry, if they're healthy.
If they stay healthy 100%, because that's what derailed the Knicks last year.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. And again, the only threat left in the West, in my opinion, really is the Nuggets, just because of their experience.
Right. You got a 6-7 matchup for the other one, which good on them. Don't get me wrong. We're all yelling about parity. That is parity. All right?
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is that both. So the Golden State Warriors and Rockets went to 7, and that is a series that I think experience wins the day. Butler and Steph Curry and Draymond Green, that was what it was. The Rockets a bit overperformed this year to be the 2 seed. And then the Warriors.
Well, they know how to win.
Exactly. They know how to win. They won in game 7, so they advance. Not even a surprise. I'm not surprised because I think the Wolves match up so well with them, and there's so much talent on that aging Lakers team. But I'm surprised that it only went 5. The Wolves knock off the Lakers in 5 games, really embarrassed them.
Yeah.
Well, to advance.
I can tell you this, that the Lakers created an immense amount of distractions for themselves this year that probably didn't need to be created, but they will probably pay off pretty heavily next season. I mean, I would look at the Lakers next season as a favorite to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. But mid-season blockbuster trades, father and son. No way LeBron's going to let himself go out that way.
Yeah.
So I expect them to be highly competitive next year. But they created too many distractions for themselves this year. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. They couldn't focus, and the Wolves were 100% focused, and they just outplayed them.
Right.
So meanwhile, the 4-5, the Nuggets need a game 7 again. Experience wins the day. The Nuggets only a couple of years removed from their championship. Obviously, arguably the best player in the league, and Jokic they find a way, and the Clippers find a way to lose again, right? It's always that story, which seems to be with the Clippers, and the Nuggets advance, and then the Thunder absolutely demolished the Grizzlies. No surprise there. So you have the 1-4, but the big thing, you have the Nuggets down massively to the Thunder, come roaring back to win by 2. And then you have the Knicks down massively in the second half to come roaring back and win in overtime. So you've got every series that's played a game in the second round, the lower seed took game 1. The Knicks are up 1-0, the Pacers are up 1-0, and the Nuggets are up 1-0. Lee, what are your thoughts so far on the second round thus far of the NBA playoffs?
I'm going to say it again. We complain about basketball a lot on this show, but teams are starting to show up here at this point in the playoffs. So I don't know why we needed 10 teams to get to this point.
Well, we don't.
I agree. But now you're starting to see better basketball, right? And again, I think there's an effect rate. I think when one team does it, another team believes they can do it. I think you see this in a lot of playoffs. These guys watch each other all the time. When you see a team come back in the second half, you believe you can do that too, right? Same thing in hockey. You see last minute, last second goals. You think you can do that too, right? It feeds off each other. So it's a nice field for the final 8. I'm not going to lie to you. And I can't tell you who's going to win now, which is great.
No, and that's the thing, right? Like the Knicks. It also didn't help that the Celtics missed 45 threes against the Knicks. The Knicks defense coming up huge, and
45.
Yeah, and all those misses allowed the Knicks to get back in that game.
Yeah, big time. As I say, you can't do that.
I'm really curious to see. If the Celtics are smart, they're gonna switch that up in the in game 2. But we'll see what happens.
You cannot do that in the playoffs and win. No, it's not possible.
No, it doesn't matter. So so the Knicks, who went 0-10 against the top teams in the league, top 3 teams in the league in the regular season, 1-0 in the playoffs. A big overtime win up in Boston. Right. That's the thing. Again, when we talk, this is classic sports. If you're the underdog, if you're the road team, you take one of those first 2 games on the road, you're playing with house money at that point.
Yeah, it's huge. Well, it gives you the home field advantage.
Home court advantage. And the Knicks, it needs to be said, now 4-0 on the road, a little bit of a road warrior aspect. And the Knicks, this is true, the Knicks were a better road team in the regular season as well. So home court advantage might be a little overrated against the orange and blue.
Right. And again, they're not afraid, and that's a huge deal, right? Like when you have a away advantage, that can come and help you out. So, but New York's going to show up in this round in terms of New York can become an amazing basketball city when the Knicks are doing well.
Yes.
So like I think that's about to happen. Considering the Rangers are nowhere to be found, this is going to be a big deal. Although we'll talk about the Rangers,
the Yankees, all of them. So so we really need the Knicks. We really need the Knicks to do something.
New York is starving for a championship.
Yes.
How's it feel, Ray? Tell the people how it feels to starve. It doesn't matter what you think.
It's not good, Lee. It's not good.
I get it. It's a weird time. If my sports world started in 2008, I'm doing okay.
Yep.
It's 3-1.
Well, 3-2.
No, 3-1.
Well, because the Giants have a Super Bowl in that time.
I'm not counting that.
The Yankees have a World Series and the Giants have a Super Bowl. So
yeah, I'm trying to block that from my memory, dude. You know who has 2 Super Bowls in that time? Both of us.
Well, if you go to 2000, technically, you're right. Technically, it's January of 2000 or February 2008.
We're tied. We're tied.
Yeah, we're actually tied. So it's 3-3. Yes.
All time if time started.
Yeah. See, I always think of that because I always think of it as it's the 2007 regular season.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like I say, the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2018, but it was the 2017 Super Bowl, which is stupid to me, but that's okay.
Yeah. So we're technically tied, but it's been a while. It's been 14 years since New York.
A long time.
Yeah.
For New York, that's an eternity. To be fair.
Yes. Yeah.
It's tough. You gotta watch everybody else win. It must be tough.
Yeah. I mean, and what's crazy is the Mets. The Mets are the best team in baseball.
Yeah, it's not shocking to me, but it's like, look, it's a long.
It's not shocking that it is. It's not shocking they're good. It's shocking they're the best team in baseball because I didn't think they had the pitching to do this, but we'll see what happens.
They are right now. I mean, like
they also had a very soft schedule. Yes.
Yeah, like here's the other thing too is like a lot of the bats don't come alive till the weather really gets hot. I mean,
yes, unless you're Aaron Judge, who is on a historic pace.
Well, because he's. I told you we don't have a 1 and 2 all time right now. We have a 1A, a 1B, and they flip flop all the time between him
and Ohtani.
I mean, it's amazing how Ohtani has somehow cast a shadow over Judge, even though he's way taller. But like look, baseball has found its way just in time to go on strike.
Yes, this will be one of the best baseball seasons ever.
Yeah,
and then there'll be no baseball.
Yeah, because that's what they do up at.
What's going to happen.
$1 billion level, they manage to screw themselves over.
We've said it before. We'll say it again. A lockout is looming.
Yes,
it is looming. So anyway, that's basketball. I'm very excited that the Knicks. I was so excited that the Knicks won last night. Came back to win last night. And I'll say this: the Knicks looked like trash in the first half. Like it looked like, this is going to be a short series. And I don't know if it was just exhaustion. I don't know if it was.
You can find your footing. I mean, look, man, the first game, I can tell you this from experience, the first game of any series, it's you feeling the other team out. All right. And you make adjustments. And when you make those adjustments, it clicks and you figure it out, And I think that's just what happened to the Knicks last night is they had to figure it out. And once they did, they came back. But it is a massive, massive championship trait when you can come back like that. And it's not like you're coming back on the Pelicans. You're coming back on the Celtics in Boston Garden.
Yes,
that's a thing, Ray. That's a thing. All right, like there's a difference. I mean, that's. I mean, outside LA, that is the holy church.
No, that is Boston is the team in basketball. The Celtics have the more championships than anybody else.
Yes,
like. It's them, then the Lakers are right behind them. They're one less than them.
Those are the 2 places I think of.
Absolutely. And guess what? The Lakers, LA, both LA teams out in the first round. So there's going to be no LA represented in the NBA championship this year.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, I'm so happy. The Kings are gone. The Lakers are gone. The Clippers are gone. LA, for people who live here and aren't fans of those teams, LA is better when they stop playing.
Yeah,
because there's no traffic.
We'll talk about the Kings in a minute. I actually feel bad for the Kings fans, but we'll talk about that.
I legit thought the Kings were going to beat the Oilers. The Kings were up 2-0 in that series as we switch over to hockey.
4 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken, that the Oilers have beaten the Kings.
Yeah, I mean, and in a collapsible fashion, you win the first 2 games, 2 thrilling games at home. And I get it. It switches back to Edmonton, right? And this happens all the time. A series switches city, and the series, so it looked like it's going to be a runaway, suddenly turns on its head. But the Oilers win 4 in a row and will now take on the Golden Knights in the second round. We'll get to the Golden Knights series in a second, but Edmonton, I still don't think they have the goaltending to go far, but Vegas does not seem as strong as they have in years past. I think Edmonton will reach the Western Conference Final again. I do not think they will get past that, but boy, did they show something when they came back against the Kings here in this series. What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Kings are such a good team. It's just Edmonton is so top heavy, and if they get going, we say this every year. If McDavid and tries to get going, like, good luck. God bless you. Yeah. It's like, I wish you the best, but to have that not even go 7 is a tough one to swallow for Kings fans. And then, the Golden Knights again taking on the Wild, and again that was not a long series either. Going 6 games. I shouldn't say it wasn't long, but it didn't go to capacity. I'll say this about the Golden Knights and Oilers. First off, I love the matchup. All right, Golden Knights top of their division. The storyline of can Edmonton get back to the Cup final versus Vegas, who are very good and very solid. So I don't know, right? I mean, I put money on it. I'd probably pick Edmonton in this one just because they know what they lost last year. But Vegas has won too, so they kind of know how to get there. But yeah, that's my thought on those 2 series.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question mark is going to be, I think, not even Edmonton's goaltending, but I think it's going to be Vegas's. Vegas's goaltending was a little suspect against Minnesota. I thought Vegas was going to steamroll the Wild, and the Wild gave them much more of a fight than I expected. Yeah, including obviously winning 2 games. But I think that if Vegas's goaltending can perform where we know it can perform, then Vegas actually probably has the inside edge. But if Vegas's goaltending performs the way it did against Minnesota, Edmonton's got this.
How about this? If you don't perform against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, you're going to lose the series because they can put up 8 points in a series, no problem. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Speaking of a lot of points in a short period of time, let's go to Dallas and Colorado. Also, very quickly, need to mention, this was a fun stat. So 3 times in NHL history leading up to this season, we had 2 goal deficits in the third period of a goal 7 that were overcome to win the game in the series.
It's insane.
It happened twice in the first round. 3 times all of history up until this year, and now twice in the first round.
Back-to-back nights.
Back-to-back nights. And we'll start with the first one, which was Dallas and Colorado. Colorado up 2-0. And with about 15 minutes left in the third, it really looked like Colorado was going to wrap this up and move on.
They had a complete grip on that game.
Yes. And then former Avalanche, someone who did not want to be traded, someone who did not want to leave, but he also wanted to get paid. Mikko Rantanen gets traded to Carolina and then hates Carolina so much that he wants out of there, and Carolina trades him to Dallas. And now these 2 teams meet, and Rantanen, in the third period, scores 4 points, including a hat trick.
That's insane.
You could not write this script better. He also, by the way, had 11 points in the final 3 games of this series. And to everyone who thought he was just a I can't believe I'm blanking on his name now for Colorado, who would feed him the puck all the time.
McKinnon?
McKinnon, thank you. The McKinnon merchant. The McKinnon merchant. Nope. Didn't need McKinnon. Didn't need McKinnon to light the lamp 3 times in game 7.
It's just first round magic. I mean, and look, here's what I'll say to you, dude. Like, on the road to the Cup, there's heroes in every round, right? Like I think it's actually a big misnomer. Is like this guy was so dominant. Like, the guy who wins the MVP usually has a pretty solid, but evenly paced playoffs.
Right.
This is a first round heroics.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and again, you talk about putting the whole team on your back and taking you to the end. I mean, just to get, I think, 4 points in the third period, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like,
yes, 4 points in the third period. He assisted.
Insanity.
He scored 2. He scored, made it 2-1. He then tied the game at 2 on a crazy deflection off the defenseman.
Yeah.
He then assisted on what ended up being the game-winning power play goal.
Yep,
and then he hit the empty netter with 3 seconds left to get the Hattie.
You and I were texting because I put that game on. It's like, it was like epic. How can it get more epic than this?
Yeah.
and then the Jets and the Blues played their game 7, and it was far more epic than this.
Yes.
But just before we leave Stars and Avalanche, it's proof again. I always tell this to my players. You can play 59 minutes of a hockey game and still lose, right? You can play it perfectly for 59 minutes. Hockey is the greatest sport on the planet for a reason in terms of just excitement. And the heroics of that are amazing. All right. Now we'll talk about the Stars Jets in a minute, because I think that's an interesting series. But Jets Blues, I'm not kidding. We thought that Stars Avalanche game that's going to be the peak of the first round, and Jets Blues totally eclipsed it.
Yeah. I mean, and also a lot of credit to the Blues. Again, this shows that like a hot team coming into the playoffs can be a huge threat. Also, Winnipeg, I don't know what's wrong with Connor Hellebuck once playoff time starts, but he is not in the playoffs. He is not the regular season goalie.
He figured it out.
At the very last possible minute, he figured it out.
But that might have been exactly what he needed. All right.
Yeah.
So like, because you're right. He could not play to his potential. Even in game 7 in the first period, did not look good.
Yeah.
And then as you tell the story leading up to the ending, Ray, but like he woke up. He woke up out of nowhere. RKO out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. Connor Hellebuck. I mean, it's 3-1 St. Louis. Again, it's a 2-goal lead in the third period. And then St. Louis gets a goal, and then they pull the goalie, and the clock is running out. It's 3-2. It looks like they're going to hold on. It's 6-on-5, and then the deflection heard around the world as it gets by Binnington with 1.6 seconds left on the clock.
Drama.
To force, it is the latest game-tying goal in a Game 7 in hockey history. Literally less than 2 seconds left on the clock to send it to overtime.
Now, before we get to the overtime, because everybody asked me about that goal, and I said, well, what's funny about that goal is that right before the shot, the defenseman actually whiffs on the shot. All right? And what I say to people is that can throw a goalie off just enough.
Yep.
Right. So the top left D had the puck. He kind of whiffed. He made a pass. He made a pass across the ice, and he shot it, and it was perfectly deflected into the net. But I really think that whiff shot by the defenseman threw the timing off just enough to let that deflection, which again was great, sneak by Binnington. So now Blues fans around the world think they have this game won.
Yeah.
It's tied, and it's heads to overtime. All right.
Yeah.
And then we get to overtime, and suddenly Connor Hellebuck cannot be scored on. And I'm not taking away from Binnington because he's playing pretty darn well in this overtime as well. But he's been consistently well.
And
Hellebuck is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, I mean, Winnipeg had way more shots this game too.
Yeah, Binnington played incredibly well.
Yeah,
but I'm saying that I don't know if it was the hockey gods or what, but when they got to that overtime, Connor Hellebuck snapped out of whatever funk he was in.
Yeah.
And he says, I have to be Connor Hellebuck right now. He turned into the best goalie in the world again.
Yeah, because there were some phenomenal shots from St. Louis. And to be fair, here's the thing. I thought if Winnipeg did not win it in that overtime when they had all the momentum on their side, I thought if this actually went to a double overtime, which it did, I actually thought St. Louis had the advantage there. But again, the hockey gods said no. It is Winnipeg's time, and with only a couple of minutes left in the double overtime, the Jets finally advance out of the first round. Connor Hellebuck knows what it feels like to win a 7-game series, and the Jets find a way to win 4-3 in double overtime in one of the best Game 7s we've had.
It's the best playoffs in sports. No one denies that, by the way. Nobody denies that. All right. And I will say this, too, that, look, the Jets are the best team in the league this year. And I remember actually when they were down 3-2, in the third. I was on the phone with someone. And I said, look, if any team is going to come back from this, it's them. They have the talent to do this.
Yeah.
And man, did they do it. But yeah, you get to overtime with that roster, as hot as St. Louis has been, you have no excuse to lose that game. And again, like maybe the hockey gods have blessed Connor Hellebuck with this here of like, you just snuck out of this first round with everything. I have a feeling now, right? He shows up big time against the Stars. All right. And I think that the Jets are on their way to meeting Edmonton in the conference final.
Well, they're going to have to show up because I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take Dallas because as good as, even with all the momentum, as good as Hellebuck may now be, you can't sleep on Ottinger over with Dallas.
I don't disagree with that.
And I think that Dallas
got lucky. No, I'm just telling you, Dallas had some luck on their side there. Now, all I mean by that is this, that one player took over in a third period to get them to the second round.
Sure.
Colorado was very good in that series too. All right. Also very injured. The Winnipeg win, all of it was a team win. All right. It was coming from everywhere. Right. And then in overtime, all the guys on the ice were clicking and firing and it looked good. If that team shows up, they have to get to the conference final. All right. I think
we'll see.
Dallas is not as deep as the Jets.
That's fair, but it's not to say that. I mean, I think Dallas, kind of like Edmonton, a little top heavy, but I think that top heaviness is just there's more talent like you said, there's more talent throughout the Winnipeg roster, but I think the top talent for Dallas outshines the top talent for Winnipeg.
Sure, that's fair.
And I think if that happens in this series, then I think Dallas will win. And I think Ottinger, again, Hellebuck is the best goalie still in this playoffs. But I think Ottinger is also very, very good. And I think that with less of a challenge, I want to say, I guess.
Yeah. This is what I'll say from a coaching standpoint. It's a lot easier to shut down one or two lines of talent than a whole team of talent. And I just think that,
absolutely.
Here's the other thing from a storyline. Now, this is the other cool part of this. You've got two somewhat teams of destiny going into this round. That doesn't actually usually happen, right? Usually a team wins and the other. You have two teams of destiny. Right. So when I look at by the way, what I mean by teams of destiny is these last second heroics that make no sense. Right. So it's easy to think God wants us to win. But I'll tell you what, from a God wants us to win, the hockey gods want us to win standpoint, Winnipeg is far more deep into that storyline than Dallas. Dallas says, oh, God sent us a player to help us get to the second round. Whereas the Jets are like, God wants us to win. God wants us to win this game. So we'll see what happens here. How about, but just real quick, like, you think about the lifetime that we've had. The Jets are playing the Stars to get to the conference final. Edmonton and the Kings is not so shocking. But the Dallas Stars are playing the Winnipeg Jets to get to the conference final. We haven't even gone to the East yet, which is a whole nother wow scenario of who's there right now. But wow, Western Conference showing up. I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely. I mean, all the series in the West have been phenomenal, especially compared to the East. But also, quick, Adam Lowry, of course. Adam Lowry's a good player. I always think of him more as a like one of the better face-off men in hockey. But he gets his third goal of the series. He got the game-winning goal. And Edmonton, Winnipeg scores twice in the last 2 minutes, including in the last 2 seconds. To advance, to tie the game for us overtime and then advance.
I want to give a shout out to the play-by-play announcer in that game. Really called it well. I mean, you and I know this, right? People don't realize how hard it is to call goals like that. But it's just the way he fed into it. Pass, shot, they score!
Yeah.
Was
it Kenny Albert? Was it Kenny Albert on the call?
I can't believe it was.
Kenny Albert had a good. I think he might have been. Kenny Albert has had a great playoffs too.
The hockey announcers are fantastic. It was just the telling of the story of a game that way is amazing, and you create memories like that. Was that
ESPN? Was that done? No, that wasn't ESPN. That was TNT.
It wasn't. It was TNT. Yeah. So I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Kenny Albert. It was a great call across the board.
Yeah. No, for sure. We move now to the East.
The vanilla East compared to the West right now.
Yeah, no surprises. Everything was pretty much a short series. Washington knocks off Montreal. Carolina, they needed overtime almost every game, but Carolina knocks off the Devils.
Right.
Florida handles an aging and injured Tampa team, and Toronto, although Ottawa gave him a run, if Ottawa, a couple of puck bounces that went Toronto's way early in that series, if that had gone Ottawa's way, this easily could have been 4-2 Ottawa, but Toronto exhales and escapes the Senators and escapes the first round.
Yeah.
They were the one team that looked like they struggled to get out of the first round.
Yeah, I don't want to say they didn't escape in my mind. I'm not trying to I think it's more like there's a hiccup and they figured it out. Right. Mm-hmm. If that went to a game 7, that would have been escape. Right. Yeah. But the Senators just last gasped. I mean, look, Kachuk is there. I mean, they figured it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be there again next year, but the Maple Leafs are a dominant team. Now they have a real problem we're going to talk about in a minute after their game 1 against the Panthers, who again took it to the Lightning. Panthers won the cup last year. Lightning are a great team. It's like an unfortunate first round matchup for them. Right. But that was a 2-3 matchup. The Panthers are a better hockey team. Caps, Canadians. Caps were the best team in the Eastern Conference. There should be no shock there. Montreal fans,
Canadians are lucky to be. We talk about this the whole season. Whoever won the second wild card in the East was lucky to be there.
Right. Canadian fans always think that they're destined. And then Canes Devils, again, good series. Canes are just the better team. Devils are up and coming, though. They're going to be really strong next year. Now, we get to the second round. Maple Leafs win their first game against the Panthers last night, but lose their goaltender in the process. That may be a big problem if someone doesn't step up into that role.
Yeah, no, Stolarz, very unfortunate, was concussed last night, and also a little
throwing up right after. I mean, that's a major concussion. So
slow to diagnose because he stayed on the ice for a couple of minutes until he had to, and then he ends up being stretchered out. Yeah, it was a long delay before they realized just how bad that was. And Toronto, I mean, on the back of their offense, they hold on. If this game had 5 more minutes to it, I think Florida ends up tying it because Florida scores 3 third-period goals, but Toronto holds on 5-4. But yeah, Lee, I mean, going for the length of this series, Toronto, I mean, Wall's not a bad goalie, but
well, look, he was there last year.
Yeah.
He's capable.
Yeah.
But the Panthers are a good team and they know how to win.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what has to happen, right? The Big Four in Toronto, it's time. It's time. You got to step up. All right. Wall's a capable goalie.
Yep.
All right. But you guys have to step up. Austin Matthews, this is it, dude. This is it. This is the time. We talked about you all season not being able to win. Show up.
Yep.
And your team can win.
Yeah. I mean, look, Nylander showed up last night, had a pair of goals, right? But other guys, especially Matthews in particular,
this is it. This is the time. You have to show up.
Nothing last night.
Yeah. And then Caps Hurricanes is just a great series.
Yeah.
I can't tell you who's going to come out of that one. I mean, it's easy to look at and say, oh, it's all Caps. But no, these two teams hate.
I'm taking the Canes.
Yeah, I'm taking the Canes. I'd love to see the Canes go to the Cup final this year. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, honestly, I said it earlier. I said Canes and Panthers in the East, and I still think it's going to be Canes and Panthers in the East. And we'll see. And then we'll see. That'll be a great series.
I'm going to tell you this too. I'm looking at the final 8. More teams are in the South than the North. Okay? Yeah. You got the Hurricanes, South. Capitals, South. Panthers, South. Golden Knights, South. Stars, South. Against the Jets, the Knights, and the Maple Leafs. I'm sorry, the Jets, the Oilers, and the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
All right, who all happen to be
in Canada,
in another country.
Yeah.
So
they're
all
real
the
North.
remaining U.S. teams are from the South. So I got to say it. Everyone who's bitched about Bettman their whole life, and I'm not saying there's nothing to bitch about. Yeah. He got you. He was right. Yeah. You can complain about Atlanta all you want. I'm pretty sure he's determined to make it work there anyway. Yeah. Third time's the charm. But Southern hockey,
that still might be the one city that you might just want. Like that's his white whale. It feels like just let Atlanta go.
He wants it to work for some reason. I think.
Yeah. There are so many. Go to Kansas City. Go to so many. There's so many other places that would want a hockey team and it would thrive there.
The tough part of Kansas City is just you have so many Blues fans there, but that's also why it might work.
Right.
So it's like you got to think about that. But amazing. The NHL has such parity. I mean, it really does. It's such a special thing. So, look, if we're going to pick right now, who's going to the conference finals, buddy? Both sides.
Well, I'm picking Canes and Panthers for sure in the East. And
I'll go
I'm
with you on
picking.
that. I'll go with you on that. As much as I like Ovechkin in this season, I'd like to see the Hurricanes.
Yeah, and I'm taking Stars and Oilers.
I'll take Jets and Oilers.
Okay, so the
Battle
only
of
team that's
Canada.
doing.
Then it'll be it'll be Canadian versus America in the final, just like the Four Nations face-off.
Oh boy,
but not at all.
But funny enough is if the Jets go, then you have an American in net,
which is also amazing at the same time. Yes. By the way, that was a rematch. Biddington and Hellebuck was a rematch of the Four Nations face-off.
Yes, and Hellebuck got his revenge.
Yeah, yep. Well, the one that mattered. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, NHL looking great. Draft lottery was the other night. Islanders coming out on top.
Didn't see that coming. They had what was it, like the third lowest odds to get that, I think.
Yeah, but look, good for them. Look, here's the deal. Like,
no, not good for them.
No, good for them. I'm tired of seeing it. It's been Oilers a million times. Like, it's just I'm fine with that. Like the Islanders need a little bit of a kick. All right. And again, like Flyers actually losing a couple picks on this one because of that.
Yeah, the Rangers moved up a couple picks. Yeah.
Yeah, Islanders. Look, man. That franchise needs a little bit of an injection. Yeah, Patrick Wall there. You need to find something. Look, Ray, the good news is not the strongest draft year in memory.
Yeah, that's also true.
So, like, if you're going to win it, this is the year. This is the year you want your opponent to win it.
Right.
But, the NHL finally doing the draft lottery live, not a predetermined thing that they showcased. They actually did it live this year, which is amazing.
Yeah, no, it was crazy to see. And, nobody saw that coming with the Islanders with the third lowest odds to get it number one pick, but they get the number one pick. Rangers moved up a couple spots. They'll be 12th overall. And then the other so I mean, whatever. It's good for them.
I bring up the live thing because now nobody can complain that it's rigged.
That's also true.
Yeah. Yep. Because nobody picks the Islanders if it's rigged.
No, that's also 100% true. Also quick note, the Rangers hired a new coach, Mike Sullivan.
Paid him too.
Yep. Better win now. It's simple. Better
win.
Listen,
this has happened before. You win the President's Trophy. You don't make the playoffs. History says you'll win the Cup next year.
I would be so happy.
You have the team. I'm going to say it right now.
We have the pieces
to do it.
We have the pieces.
No distractions. New coach. Stanley Cup winning coach. Knows how to win. In the words of the great John Cena, the last time is now.
Oh God, it's been a long time.
It's time.
It is time. It's time. It's time. It's Vader time.
Time. Anyway, happy for the Rangers. John Tortorella choosing not to be an assistant coach.
Yeah.
Funny enough, but yes, Rangers are primed. All right, and I'm going to convince. This is another one. Could very well be the Rangers and Devils in the conference final again.
Oh boy.
This could happen.
It could happen. We'll see what happens. Oh,
not Mateo. Sabinajad.
I don't care who it is.
I just like that we can all say his name now.
Yes. Goodness. So that does it for the sports section. A long, in-depth look at basketball and hockey, as well as deserved. We're in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's the right time of year.
Yeah. Quick moving over to games. Not a lot of news in the geek
quick geek section this week. Yeah.
Yes. Not gonna lie, a lot of bad news all around in the gaming world.
Yeah.
A lot of layoffs again last week. And then Xbox, a lot of delays, and then Xbox announces that they're going to raise prices on everything. Hardware, games, everything is going to have their prices raised. I think part of this is from tariffs. I think part of this is also from the fact that the game industry is in flux right now. And there's a lot of worry and people are trying to bank.
It's also greed. Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, here's what I'll tell people listening. I without naming a name, I know a company, not mine. I know a major company that is raising their prices because of tariffs on China. And I know for a fact that their products are not made in China.
Wow.
Okay. So I won't call anybody out, but I'm just saying that is unethical beyond belief.
Yep.
And I think that, in a market where people that rely on video games for peace and tranquility and escapism, to raise the prices on them is ludicrous to me.
Yeah.
All right. Again, on some things, we talked about Nintendo raising certain things. some of those price raises do make sense.
Yeah.
But to say, oh, it's the tariffs are causing us to raise prices. Well, you've got two problems here. One, you better prove that your stuff's made in China.
Mm-hmm.
Two, if the tariffs come off, you better drop the prices. Because that
that's the other problem is that,
and they won't. I guarantee you they won't.
No, and then because then they'll just be like, oh, people are used to it now. It's like, no,
it's going to happen. That's what everyone's using this as an excuse for. Is it's going to stay.
It's like raising the egg prices during the pandemic. It's people. It's
greed.
Evil people, being greedy, gouging people, and taking advantage of it, and then nobody holding their feet to the fire.
I can tell you right now, in my business, we are doing everything we can to keep our prices exactly where they are. Yeah. All right, and the thing is, everything that we can. All right. Everything we can. All right. The thing is, I think that other companies, and I think some of these gigantic companies go, this is our chance to raise everything 20%. Yep. And people will pay it, and then we never have to bring them back down.
Yeah, and we just pocket it, and we go buy ourselves another yacht because that's the kind of people we are. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't love it, Ray, and shame on me.
I don't want a yacht. I just want a tugboat. I'll take a tugboat.
A tugboat. A tugboat. Like you want a little. But that's just so you can like ram it into big boats. You want to ruin the yachts with your. What's the name of your tugboat?
Oh, the name of
SS what?
The SS Killer Whale.
There you go.
You know what they saw? Actually, super random thing, but I thought this was amazing. Somebody took a picture. They saw an albino killer whale out in the ocean. This picture went viral.
That's pretty cool.
Which is just basically it's an all white killer whale basically.
Yeah.
It's just really cool.
I'll look that up.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, sticking with video games.
Great segue from the whale.
Speaking of Microsoft, and this is another reason why it's crazy that they're raising their prices. They announced that Gears of War is going to come to PS5 for the first time. It's going to come to Sony systems, and we're starting to see this now because Microsoft is like. Again, the idea of exclusives is kind of starting to fade. And I think this hurts Xbox hardware and the argument why you should go buy an Xbox in general. But it's in the short term, it's going to make them a lot of money because, and that's what it is. It feels like it's a short-term strategy to make a lot of money because now there are people who have only been on Sony for forever. And you have this massive install base with Sony. And now one of your premier franchises is going to be over there. I don't think this is going to do what some people are saying, which is like, well, now people are going to go want to get an Xbox so you can play the rest of the series. No, I don't think it's going to happen. But I think in the short term, I think a lot of people will buy the PS5 version of Gears of War.
Yeah.
And it'll be a big influx of money for Microsoft. And that's about it.
Well, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, this is the second remake of the original Gears of War. It's gonna be 4K and all the other stuff. And look, I love Gears of War. I'm a huge gearhead. I love it. It is one of my favorite franchises. I don't really care that it's going over to PlayStation. I'm also not going to get the remaster, reloaded, blah 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 blah, because I played the original. But it, I think this is just it's Microsoft. As much as I love Microsoft is being greedy. That's all it is. Well, raise their prices, put their games in other systems, make as much money as they can in the short term.
It's a hostile takeover. Again, PlayStation's days are numbered. I keep saying that. I've been saying that for years. Every time they get a little win, people think, yeah, they're back. And I'm like, I don't know about that. So Microsoft doing what it does. That's expansion, conquer.
Yep. Conquer from within. So Fortnite, speaking of money, Fortnite had a big win this week in terms of they won their lawsuit against Apple.
That's been going on a long time.
That has been in litigation for a long time, and the judge basically kind of laughed at Apple and basically said you cannot basically kind of double charge these companies for these transactions within their game, and so Fortnite will be coming back to iOS.
Yeah, which is massive. This
is a big deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, too many people play that game already, so now we'll have them playing it everywhere.
everywhere, all the time, nonstop.
Yeah. You know what's funny about Fortnite is my son plays it a lot. And I realized the other day I had to tell him this. I said, Logan, there's other games out there. Like you can play other games. And like it's funny. So he downloads Battlefront. I'm like, no, this is the same game. It's the same exact game. You're playing it now just with Star Wars figures, which I approve of. I'd rather you play Battlefront. At least there's a little bit of a story.
Although now Star Wars is also coming to Fortnite.
Right. And he knows that too. It was the first thing he told me. He's like, I can download this free skin. But I think I told you, I got him some Assassin's Creed. Like, so let's just try some story back because I think he's going to enjoy those more. He loves Zelda, right? Like, there's other games, kids, out there besides Fortnite. I get Fortnite. I've played Fortnite. I'm not against Fortnite. There's other games out there.
Well, and that's the thing is I think that sometimes there's a lot of folks who just are like, Fortnite is an extra babysitter.
I know for a fact that that's true because some of the kids that are really, really good at it, Ray, that's all they do. And it's like, what are you doing?
No, and that's the thing. It's like play other things, folks. I mean, look, I know I am a rarity. Speaking of whales, right? I'm a whale in the game industry where I buy it. When I have money, I basically buy a new game every week. I don't watch TV.
That's different. You work in the field. It's your profession.
That's also true.
That's like me saying, I buy new hockey equipment every few years. Like, I work in hockey.
Right. But like, it's one of those things where there's so many great. I just finished real quick. Impromptu review. Go play South of Midnight. This is a beautiful. I finished it. I loved it. It is a beautiful game. You can beat it in less than 15 hours. It is a unique setting, unique story. The music, the art style, the themes, everything about this was beautiful, and it was solid gameplay. It wasn't spectacular, but it was solid, right? It's something we haven't seen before in terms of the gameplay, in terms of as an action platformer, whatnot. But third-person action adventure game, basically. But the story was so good that go play it. Yeah. It's on Game Pass. Go play it.
Love it.
I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10.
That is extremely high praise from you.
Yeah. I think it's the best game that Compulsion has ever made. Compulsion used to be a small little indie developer, then got acquired by Microsoft and used that Microsoft money well.
Remind everybody your top 3 games all time from a rating standpoint.
Top three all time in terms of number.
Yeah, like you've reviewed.
So that I've reviewed, professionally reviewed.
So like you gave these a score, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Batman Arkham City, Gears of War 2, and I think Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Did they get high 9s or 10s?
Arkham City is the only 10 I ever gave out.
Yeah, it was worth it. That was an amazing game.
Yeah, Arkham City was the only 10 I ever gave out. Very high 9s. I think if you go 4 deep, I think Injustice, the first Injustice, is also in there.
That was super fun, that game.
So, I mean, that saved what is now NetherRealm. Like, that just completely...
so fun.
Yes.
I mean, whoever said, look, we should do Mortal Kombat with DC characters. It's just like, great idea.
Well, and the thing is, they had the idea right before Midway collapsed, but then it was like, but now we have money to actually do it well.
Right.
And then Warner Brothers acquired them.
Would you still give Arkham City a 10 today?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just nearly perfect.
Yeah, I don't think that there's.
Is that the one with Clayface at the end?
Yes.
Yeah, which no one saw coming too, which is also tough to do.
Yeah. No, they did it unlike Arkham Knight, which was entirely predictable.
Yeah.
Arkham City,
but great. Arkham Knight was great.
It was good.
I liked Arkham Knight.
I had issues with Arkham Knight. I don't think they maximized the Batmobile combat or whatever.
That's fair.
I had issues with Arkham Knight. I feel it was it was a great series. I mean, still is. It's technically still going. They just had that VR game come out a little while ago.
Wait. What was the first one?
Asylum. Arkham Asylum.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm mixing these up. I loved Arkham Asylum. Is what I meant.
Yes. Yeah.
I apologize. Arkham Asylum is great.
It's City, Asylum, and then Night. Yeah. And Origins are kind of
so just like the actual Batman Nolan trilogy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So bye.
Yeah. No. And real quick, also Grand Theft Auto 6 delayed until official. We have an official date. It's now in May of next year, but it has been delayed till next year. They dropped
That's fine.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of the biggest releases in history. Get it
Yeah.
right.
They dropped a trailer that looks great.
Yeah, a lot of gameplay looking stuff in that trailer.
Yes. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with waiting. Again, it's a breath of relief, a sigh of relief for much of the industry this year, because it also gives the industry as a whole time. The industry as a whole will plan around that. You will not see games a month. You will not see games 2 weeks prior or a month after Grand Theft Auto is released.
That will probably be the largest release in history.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
it also might be the most expensive because they might charge $90 or $100.
But you know what? I'm going to say it, that I don't have again. People, how can you that game?
There are people who all they play, much like the kids only play Fortnite. There are people who only play Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get that much time out of it, I mean, like here's the deal: if you're not one of those players, wait till it goes on sale.
That's it.
And it will. Yeah,
it will eventually because the hook that what Rockstar wants is they want you to play the online.
Yeah,
and they need that install base, and that's actually an argument for them not to have $100 video game.
Right,
is to be like, no, we're going to charge 70 or 80 or whatever the number is at that point, the average, because we want you to play GTA Online and get absorbed into that, and that's where they make their real money is in the microtransactions over the course of the online.
You can be driving around Vice City, killing people and committing crimes, and get away with it outside real life.
There are already people clamoring to have the T-shirt made from the trailer today that said "Violence is cool, thank you, video games."
Right.
That was one of the characters in the trailer. I mean, this is going to be every time a Grand Theft Auto releases, it is a benchmark.
Yeah.
Right. It is a tentpole event.
Fair.
Yeah.
Look, I'll be honest with you. From a visual standpoint, that looks like the greatest game in history. From a visual standpoint, I've never seen anything like that.
No, like it's just it is. They are maximizing every single transistor and every single little computer chip in these hardware consoles right now to the absolute maximum.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw the article came out today. Will the Nintendo Switch be able to handle this game?
Probably not.
No, I don't think. Well, Switch 2 maybe.
The Switch won't. Switch 2 will.
Switch will be able to.
Because the Switch 2 is technically the same components as an Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5.
They've just understood that you don't need a gigantic console to make things happen. Yes.
Well, they again, the reason they've taken the current technology that came out 4 years ago and they shrunk it down and made it portable.
Smart.
That's why Nintendo is as good as they are. They're like, we can make this portable and people will love it because then they can play it on the airplane.
Right. Like I saw this guy. I was on an airplane with a guy a few weeks ago going to Puerto Rico. He played his Switch on the airplane, and my son did too. But this guy in front of me, front right, 2 seats over, looked a little bit like you, Ray, on the Switch most of the time.
Yeah, just playing the Mario Party.
Yeah,
it's there's not a lot. Like this is what Nintendo always does. They kind of go quiet right before a big console release, and then they're like, game.
They're smart. They're smart.
Yeah. Yeah, so not a lot coming out right now for the Switch, but there will be. There will be. Yeah, and then the Switch 2, which comes out. Oh my God, the Switch 2 comes out in less than a month.
There you go, just in time for us to come back.
Yes, and I've already pre-ordered mine from Best Buy. So
you love Best Buy. You've always gotten games from Best Buy. We used to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get games from there anymore because like everything is just digital now.
That used to be a thing for you and I. You and I would go there weekly. They're
every week to see. We'd go to the comic book store. Yeah, because to see what new games came out. Yeah, it was a great.
It's never going to lead anywhere for us.
Oh, what have I done with my life? No, it is.
Says the guy starting work at the biggest geek company in history. All right.
Yeah, we'll talk all about that when we come back. Oh goodness. Things are good. Things are good, folks. Finally, it's been a while. And also, again, just quickly mention, I'm not bragging that I got a new job. It's been 17 months. It has been a slog to find work. I just want to say, though, I feel for the people who have recently lost their job or are still looking. I know it took me 17 months to find work again. It is not easy, folks.
Look, let me chime in here. I won't say anything about where you're heading, Ray. You can do that in your own time. But I will say Ray has just gone through one of the longest periods of challenge that I have seen. And you did it with grace, dude. I mean, it's not an easy time. You found ways to do it. You did stand-up comedy. You did other work. And again, you are pushing through and you found yourself in a position where you earned this. Okay. I know you're a real humble person with this stuff, but you earned everything coming your way right now. I'm proud of you. I mean that.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. So we'll tell you all about it when we come back. Yeah, no, but Lee's hitting the road to go win himself some more medals and trophies and all that other fun stuff.
Coming.
And
we're coming.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, look out. And then I'm going to be starting a new job next week. So so we'll be back. We'll probably be back in about a month again. We're going to look out for that mini-sode with our Detroit sports correspondent, Grace DeCanis.
Pride of Detroit, Michigan. Yes.
That'll be a little fun thing. But yeah, so for a little bit, enjoy your May, everybody. It's going to be May. It is May.
It's gonna be May. It was right there. I had to do it.
May the 4th, Revenge of the 5th, and now
I celebrated both in style.
Revenge of the 6th, also today. Which
doesn't stop, people. We're here forever.
And then Revenge of the 7th.
Real quick. Congratulations to Revenge of the Sith, the film, the highest grossing re-release in history.
Yep.
Big deal.
Let's go Star Wars. I'm actually wearing one of my Star Wars shirts today. If you're watching the video,
Battlefront's fun.
Yes, it's a great shirt. This is from. I'm glad also it still fits because this is from 2015. Yeah, this is Celebration 2015.
Yeah, it was 10 years ago.
Oh my God, it was 10 years.
Right, we should leave now before we start talking about old people. Savia producer's like, cut it. End the show.
But by the way, Star Wars Celebration 2027 back in Los Angeles. That has been announced.
Correspondence.
Maybe on location. Maybe. But anyway, for Lee, I'm Ray. We'll be back in about a month, everybody. Enjoy, I guess, the spring vacation? Spring break?
The break.
Spring break.
Enjoy May.
Yes. And, we'll be back with all kinds of fun stuff. Probably, towards the end of the playoffs. And then until then, that's Lee. I'm Ray. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Geeks Who Like Sports.
Geeks Who Like Sports will be reorganized into the first ever galactic empire.
Unlimited power!